Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of May. I hope you're well. I'm using the Llewellyn Tarot for you today. Now, if you haven't seen one of these readings before, for the mid-months I structure them slightly differently to the main monthly reading, in so much as we are looking for the lesson. I believe that everything is a lesson, and I found over the years that it is easier to navigate that energy, well, challenging energy, if I can see what it is that it's trying to teach me. It's sort of a practice in detachment, really, is what it is, and gaining perspective, that sort of thing. So to that end, what I'm going to do is pull 3 cards for your current energy, see where you are right now. 3 cards for what is the lesson, like what is it trying to teach you? Is it trying to teach you something? Is it trying to prepare the ground for new things coming in? Is it trying to help you release things, you know? Is it showing you where there is healing that needs to occur, that sort of thing? And then we'll close it out with 3 cards of advice. So let's have a look and see where you are, please, Libra. Can I have 3 cards for Libra? Current energy, thank you. We have the 5 of Cups, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Devil in reverse. That's just a very, very interesting Capricorn card, the Devil in reverse, but I'm not sure that that's actually really relevant here, not in this. We've got the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and I do like to see that because it's behind it. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. Right? Now the 5 of Pentacles talks about poverty, it talks about lack, it talks about the ways in which our own basic needs are not met. And sometimes that's because we've isolated ourselves, or sometimes that's because we've allowed ourselves to be in positions where that has occurred. What I like is that we have an Ace of Wands on top of it, because what that says to me is that you are changing it, you are looking for something that is more fulfilling, whether that is in a creative sense or in a passionate sense. You know, it's whatever makes your blood run a little bit hotter than it is doing at the moment. It sometimes even see it as a, you know, a reignition of the will to live, right? It's that profound an energy. So there's shifting and there's changing going on here with you, Libra. But with these 3 cards that we have down on the table, we should note that the Queen of Swords, who is right in the center, is a Libra card. So you're showing up really, really, you know, authentically in your own reading here, which is a really good start. And not only that, she has her back to this 5 of Cups here. Now, for some of you, it's 5 of Cups, and I should just say that 5 energy, whenever it appears, is usually quite difficult. And we've already got the 5 of Pentacles shown up for you here, but we've also got the 5 of Cups. That energy talks about kind of being stuck with a sense of loss, right? Something, well, in here, this chap, right, he's got 3 cups and they've fallen over, and whatever those cups contain is now draining into the soil. There are 2 cups that are still upright and still remain, but he has his back to them. He does not perceive them because he's too close to the situation. And so this talks about kind of taking a step back and seeing, yes, you have lost things, but other things still remain, right? We can see this indicating, you know, bereavement, grieving, you know, all those kinds of losses, but also senses of resentment or bitterness that build up as a result of it. The thing is, I don't feel for you like this is a present energy of bereavement and loss. There's something a little older going on here. Now, it could well be that what has been revealed to you recently, and we have just had that Scorpio full moon that was incredibly powerful and designed it specifically for the excavation of, you know, the emotional self, and see what is going on under there, you know, what is driving us, what are our motivators. It could well be that possibly that has come up for you, and you've been dealing with the consequences of what you now see about yourself and your experience for the last week or so, and employing a level of discernment to it, right, which is what we would expect to see, you know, kind of sifting through the information and working out what is right and what is not, what is relevant, what is not, what you're going to carry forwards with you and what you are not going to do. But another way of looking at this energy revolves around the fact that this 5 of Cups figure has his back to the Queen and the Queen has her back to him, and it could well be that there is some low-level grieving, there's some low-level wounding that you are not seeing at this point, right? You're not being given an opportunity to be discerning about it because as yet you have not yet quite perceived it. I'm not sure which way around it is for you. I think on balance it's more like the former than the latter, to be honest, because what the Queen is looking at and what she's actually inviting towards her is this Devil in reverse card here. Now, in order to reverse a devil, you know, I think Queen of Swords energy would be a really good thing to use for exactly that, because this way around it talks about all the things that we fear. It talks about toxicity and codependence. It talks about, you know, all manner of toxic behaviours are indicated here by the devil, but ultimately it's at its root, it's all about fear, being chained to something by fear. And the fact that the Queen of Swords is not only looking at this, but she is beckoning it towards her, feels to me like you have done and are doing some work in understanding those things that frighten you, understanding those subconscious reactions and triggers that you have about things, right? And that's the first step in releasing them. Right? We've gone from an acknowledgement of the devil to an inversion of it. The next step would be the devil not appearing at all, right? So it seems to me like you are working on something really quite profound, and like I said, the former interpretation of the Five of Cups then would be the one. And it does feel old. It doesn't feel like it's some sort of fresh thing that you're dealing with. It feels something very insightful about you internally and the way that you work and the way that you, the reasons why you do things the way that you do them. You know, it could be that you've been just sort of bashing on with life for years, you know, picking yourself up and being very resilient and getting on with stuff, and what you haven't realised up until potentially very recently, that there was somewhat of an emotional anvil hanging around your neck, you know, a millstone. Just been like, there's the Ace of Wands. It's just popped out again as I was idly shuffling the cards here. I think this is wonderful because what it does indicate is a release and a liberation from these things that have kept you afraid and feared. And there is somewhat of a new layer of insight that is now available to you, right? About what's going on inside. Let's have a look for the lesson, please, here for Libra. We have, I'll tell you in a second. Fuck. I'm not taking all of those because that's far too many, but we did have two jump out already. We have the King of Swords, and we have the Three of Pentacles. Thank you. And we have the Fool. Yeah, wonderful. Exactly what I was feeling there was this sense of liberation that was coming in for you. We have the Emperor, and we have the Eight of Pentacles, and it's interesting because it does feel like somewhat of a, well, for the want of a better phrase, sort of getting your shit together a little bit, Libra. Now, it could well be that you feel like you've had your shit together for a very long time. Thank you very much. And, you know, that's what it is. But I do feel like you've been hit kind of broadsided by something emotional that it has sat very deeply within you, that possibly has left you feeling a little discombobulated for a little hot minute there. But true to your nature, you're finding your balance. You know, I love the fact that we've got the King and the Queen of Swords there, because they are indicating that intellectual balance, that logic and reason, and that cerebral mental place is balancing out as it needs to. And in addition to liberating and releasing you, it feels like it's giving you a new direction of travel. It feels like there's much cleaner energy around you, Libra. That's how it feels. It feels cleaner. We've got so... In terms of what the lesson is, we've got some deep understanding down here, right, with this King of Swords. But not just an understanding of yourself, but it feels like that it has the capacity to change the way that you communicate. And this is quite interesting because the Queen of Swords is not an overtly emotional character. In fact, she's pretty much characterized by the lack of that, which is not to say that she's emotionless. She's not, but she's very good at putting emotions to one side while she considers the facts of the matter. And I think that there's a surprising level of insight that's come into you, and perhaps it revolves around the notion of not really giving emotions that much weight when you are making your decisions about things. And it could be that you've been doing that for such a long time that you did not notice that you've had this emotional millstone going on, you know, for you, this albatross that's just kind of sitting there weighing you down. But it feels like there's a clarity of expression and a clarity of understanding that is coming to you now, which may well dictate a shift in the way that you deal with other people. We have the Three of Pentacles there, which is the card of, you know, cooperation and collaboration and teamwork, working together with people. I feel like in this 2-week period that actually your communications are really expressive. Like you've got a way with words with you in this 2-week period. And there's almost a delight that I can feel in being able to just nail exactly what it is that you're trying to express in a way that other people can understand. Now, I don't know if you're necessarily sharing anything of your own internal stuff with anybody else, but certainly in terms of the judgments that you can make about the information that people bring to you, you've just got a way with words. And it's wonderful. Like I said, that we've got the Fool here, we've got this liberation. It does indicate the start of a new cycle, but I'm not actually seeing out the closing of an old cycle yet. So it's less about taking a step on a new journey and more like lightening the load, ready for the new journey. If this albatross has been around your neck for a very long time, it could be that you've started and ended cycles over and over again with this big bird getting heavier and heavier around your neck, and suddenly it's gone. Suddenly it's not there anymore. It's really useful energy for you, Libra. Can I have 3 cards of advice for Libra for this 2-week period, please? Ooh, wow. I knew the Tower was coming out. I felt the Tower in the meditation, interestingly. I can't explain how I do, like how that presents, but I just felt the Tower was there. It was quite sudden. We have the Three of Wands, we have the Chariot, and we have that Tower energy there. It feels to me like you are getting ready to make some big changes in your day-to-day life, Libra. We've got the Ten of Swords there, indicating that end that I was talking about. It's a minor end. It's not a full, you know, world major arcana end. It's a smaller one. But it's a very welcome card because it speaks of an end to this, you know, whatever this situation is for you, and, you know, whatever this devil situation is as well. Like it's tying it up, it's completing it, and it's kind of putting it to one side here. But the Three of Wands and the Chariot in the Tower is a very interesting combination of cards, because that Three of Wands is about, for me, it's a low-level card of manifestation, because if the Two of Wands is that crossroads energy where you are kind of mentally walking through the consequences of going in one direction or another, then the Three is when you actually start on that path. That's when you start producing for yourself that which you foresaw in your own mind. It is about the way that you show up in the world in the day-to-day, on a day-to-day basis, and here it is. But it's with the Chariot. It feels like it's been refined and will continue to do so. And like I said, it feels like there's a big change coming up for you, Libra, and it actually feels like it's coming by your own hand. It's as a result of letting go of whatever's been weighing you down. You know, that thing that for the most part, most of you didn't even realise was going on. And changing your direction of travel. Like I said that already. A change in your direction of travel. Before these even came out, there's a micro adjustment here, or maybe a major adjustment, depends how you see it. But the Chariot is about drive and determination and moving forwards. There's an awful lot of water here on both of these cards, which are unusual actually for both of these cards. They don't usually depict water on them, even though they are, you know, Cancer and Scorpio respectively. Usually very much on dry land. I think that whatever you've been through, whatever you've discovered about yourself, and whatever you are now processing and releasing, it is in preparation for something, like I said, this big shift, change in direction that's coming up ahead. And it's one that will be emotionally fulfilling for you on a level that you have not allowed yourself access to, you know? I mean, it's just like the Queen of Swords kind of puts that stuff to the side while she's making these very articulate and intelligent observations about these things. It's talking about a level of engagement with the emotional, really bringing it in and seeing the difference that it can make to the quality of your life when that is present there. This is intriguing, Libra. I really like this for you, though. I'm going to lie. Got some big energies going on. And you engaging with them lightly. You know, there's no sense of you kind of wading through mud on this one. It's like your mental capacities are on fire, but, you know, in a good way. Right, Libra, this is what I have for you. I hope that this has helped. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.